Trust the Force, Luke.
Sometimes truth isn't good enough.
I feel the need for speed.
Ray, when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes!
Because it's their time. Their time. Up there. Down here, it's our time. It's our time down here.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Winter Wolf's Den, FrostCast 53. Because if it's Wednesday night, it must be FrostCast. Lots to talk about today. Very happy to have everybody here. As most of you know, if you're any part of fandom around here anyway, Comiccon San Diego was just a thing over the weekend. And as King Z is sometimes fond of saying, I felt whelmed reading the coverage of the Comic-Con. Whelmed. Not over, not under, just whelmed. Like it was there. Pick, what's up? Oh, dude, we don't let it rip. We got a list of stuff. We're gonna bring in King Z, get his hot takes as usual. We're gonna get into his Rogue Squadron pitch. That's a thing. He's gonna tell us all the way the Fantastic Four could have ended better. I'm sure we'll touch on all those bases when we get there. What's going on, dude?
What's happening? The king is here and ready to hold court.
The champ is here. Here we go. We really need to get rights to that, but I don't think we get that on the budget just yet.
Not until he officially retires at the end of the year.
I know. Then we can put a bid in. Maybe we probably do it at that point. Yeah, I felt whelmed looking at the a couple articles we sent back and forth. Screen Rant had coverage, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Dead Space, Collider, all the usual suspects had. This was talked about. This was mentioned. Here's the George Lucas Lifetime Achievement Museum thing. And I'm like, okay, that's all slice of life, interesting stuff, but nothing broke the internet, I don't think, for me anyway, like the RDJ's Doom, like took the mask off in front of everybody, like whether or not you thought that was corny, at least there was some theatricality and deception, if you will, to that kind of that performance. And this year it felt just performative, like there was just a con, people showed up, had a good time. I saw lots of cosplay, it looked like people were having fun. Did you see that badass Invisible Woman Galactus set cosplay? Did you see those two standing next to each other?
I saw a couple different Galactuses. I didn't actually see them two playing next to each other. There was some nice one, like dudes on stilts type Galactus.
Oh, dude, this thing was like 15 feet tall, standing next to a very curvy blonde chick, and not a spandex print Invisible Woman like it had the rubber pieces and there's actually armor bits on and everything, so it wasn't just like a Halloween City costume. It looked good, so it looked like people had fun. But I have the list here though. And, without burying the lead too far and just talking right about Avatar 3, what's it called? Fire and Ash? I think that's Avatar 3.
Fire and Ash.
Remind me, what was part 2? Was it Way of Water?
Something of water. Yep, I just remember something of water.
I think it was Way of Water. Oh, Trek was there. It's on my list to mention to the king, because I don't know how much, I don't remember that he follows a whole lot of new Trek. But I know he knows what the Jem'Hadar are from DS9. There's no way he does not know what the Jem'Hadar are. We'll get into that for sure. But yeah, Avatar, that's the big one. Thank you, Oracle says under my name that 2 was the Way of Water. Appreciate that. I've never seen part 2. I liked part 1 just fine. It's not goo goo gaga for me. I get that a lot of people love it. They love the Dances with Wolves, Ferngully, and space story that they borrowed, and that's fine. Lots of good stories get borrowed. I'm not
definitely more Ferngully than it is Dances with Wolves.
Dances with Wolves is a little artsier up here with some of the some of the conventions in that story. To me, it was definitely Ferngully in space, but people loved it. The movie it's one of the first movies to hit that $1 billion club 15 years ago. That's a lot of money back then. It's James Cameron at his best, pushing the edge of special effects, especially with the water effects and the flight effects. Like that's his entire game is pushing effects. So you never bet against James.
He took like 4 years to film the first one.
Right. I mean, like my man put his time into the craft. So when he puts his name on an Avatar movie, it's different than when he gets an EP credit on like Terminator Dark Fate. You know what I mean? Like it's entirely different. So I don't know though, because I don't know how big of a splash part 3 will make. No pun intended. I should have said how big of an ash instead of splash. That was a terrible joke. Did not work. Did not land. I'm watching a lot of Sykes, and now Sean's kind of rubbing off of the repartee. It's not good.
I've heard it both ways.
There you go. No, you haven't. So I'll play Gus then. But I haven't seen part 2. I don't really feel any need to go watch Avatar: Way of Water. Like nothing pulls me. It's been free on streaming for like 5 years, you know, or something like that. So I don't know that it's going to draw me immediately back in the theater to go see part 3. Because I took a look at the trailer. I don't know if you guys did.
Oh, the trailer? You mean
the trailer?
This?
Fair use only. Fair use. We're going to talk over the entire thing. Yes, we've seen the flying pterodactyls. Yes, we've seen the Way of Water. It does look pretty badass, though. I'll give them that. They really do have the water effects nailed. I've seen this in like 3 movies and an animated game. Yep, these are all things.
Are they going to connect their tails again?
100%, dude. I mean, dude, I like the Na'vi design. It's not like it's not an interesting visual spectacle. This part's pretty solid. I did like the hot air flying whale balloon. Music's always good. It hits that beeping, swelling score.
Yeah, the world they built is beautiful.
Yeah, I love Pandora. I do love Pandora. I love the creature effects are always interesting. They're fun to watch. But I think the part that ruins it for me is the human thing is now completely integrated into the world. They're the children of the original movie, or the grandchildren, or whatever the time.
Hate.
You know, it's too much. And then this part coming up, if we're seeing it right now, he's wearing pants. And I get it, the Avatar's wore clothes.
If there's something
in the first movie,
you can do,
so like in a couple seconds, they're gonna have machine guns and assault rifles.
then you must
They're fighting
do
like
it.
humans. I don't need that. I love the
I do say
ship
I
horns.
like how the military equipment looks in this. It's very military sci-fi.
100%, without looking ridiculous like original Judge Dredd or something like that, like being big and bulky. Besides the mech suits, and those are just
Guns like
bulky,
this
yeah.
size, with
Right.
a normal human carrying it.
Right.
Yeah, the
I
airship
mean, this
is
looks like
amazing.
so. Like,
We'll find
did
another
you see that
way.
little clip? There was like a Na'vi walking in front of a bunch of humans. Like, did we go back to Earth? Did they bring somebody back? There's a lot going on. I like this stuff. I like to fly bows and arrows, fire versus water. Like, I like that. See,
Now
Na'vi
a
with the
sniper
sniper
rifle.
rifle. Yeah, see, I don't. Did you ever play the game that just came out? It came out last Christmas. This looks like that to me. It just looks like Assassin's Creed Avatar is what the game is basically. That's a good line. Your goddess has no dominion. Assassitar? Our assassin?
Our assassin.
Little psych joke there. For murderer. Yeah, that just, it has never looked like more of a video game to me, and I'm not sure that that's a good thing. Because they originally leaned on the Fern Gully story, which was enough to move it with the visuals and the giant mech suits and the gas masks and everything. But I wonder if they've pushed too far. What do you think of the trailer? I've babbled enough.
Like I said, it looked great, but it's nothing to wow me into the theaters. Let's see what we got here. They took way too long between 1 and 2, and every momentum of the story had felt off a cliff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like 2 was like they took 4 years to film the first one, and then they did 10. To bring out the second one.
It was long,
and now they're trying to force a third one unless they shot 2 and 3 together and split it.
They did some elements of that, like work began fairly soon after 2.
Okay,
Like they didn't have to redefine any of their technical assets, like what they use to do any of the effects for the air, fire, and water. Like those are they're all using those kind of things again. I think my problem with Pape's analysis there, because usually he is spot on, is we can feel like momentum fell off of the story, but Avatar 2 cleaned up the box office as well. Like it hit a bill. So I mean, it made its money, and I think people maybe they're just looking for that kind of spectacle that's completely removed from anything Earth-based, and maybe that's enough to carry a lack of story momentum. Welcome, Andre. Hello. The things about Avatar is that the world is way more interesting than the characters. We're literally just talking about that. That's why both are very forgettable by the larger audience, but they still show up for the first 2 weekends. That's the thing. This Christmas, because I think this is December, it said, right? Like December 6th.
December.
And
19th.
I think that's 19th. Okay. And I think that's about when the other 2 came out. I think they were both holiday season-ish, if I remember correctly. Right. So, I mean, this is what you do. You're back home. If you're a young adult, you're between 20 and 30, you're traveling home, you need something to do, you go to see this. If you've got a couple of kids and they're into the sci-fi stuff and you need something safe-ish to see that doesn't get into the on the nose messaging, Avatar's there for you. It's PG-13. You're going to get some gunshots and maybe an arrow through the gut or something, but it's not graphic. It's not horrible. If you got a 10-year-old, they can handle that. It's like new Jurassic Park, you know? I mean, so it's accessible. And I think that anybody hoping for a deep cut sci-fi Ray Bradbury-esque level sci-fi story, it's not this. And I don't even think it's pretending to be that.
No, it's definitely not. It stays in its own lane, you could say. I think the second one did so well is because it was so long since the first one. They wanted to see what they were going to do, plus how well the first one looked, the feel, the acting in it was top notch. So they're expecting the same thing. So a lot of people will show up to this, but like Andre says, the world is way more interesting. It's way more beautiful than what's being portrayed on screen, other than just how visually stunning it is.
Right. And we use that expression a lot too, visually stunning, but it really is. And it is worth watching. It's one of the few things I don't regret seeing in 3D, actually. And as you guys can see, obviously with the eyeglasses, the 3D experience isn't always something enjoyable for some of us with the ocular impairities. But I had a blast in 3D in the original 37,000 years ago. Andre also says, people show up for the theater experience for that immersive and beautiful world. Agreed. I think both movies are good, but it doesn't stay in the pop culture lore. Dude, exactly right. Dude, real quick, freeze. Everybody's at gunpoint. Quote Avatar, either movie. Like, what's your go-to line?
It's a goldfish
Jake Sully.
movie.
That's all I got. I got Jake Sully.
Yeah,
I just love Zoe Saldana.
It's 100% a goldfish movie. 10-second memory. You watch it, you're like, "Ooh, that was cool." Well, what was it about?
Like, what's the number one villain quote from the military dude from part 1? No idea.
Yeah, I do know the one thing I remember. The one thing I do remember is unobtainium, because it is the dumbest name for any type of metal.
They thought they were slick. Yes, they thought they were slick. I remember Giovanni Ribisi is the guy that said that. But I don't remember anything how he said other than the word, and Jake Sully, like that's it. Like I remember Zoe Saldana saying that. And I'll get you your legs back. Okay.
Yeah. And the biggest
thematically might have been
deposit was underneath the host tree. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's where the whole Fern Gully story comes in.
Like I remember the goddess's name is Awa. That's it. Like that's literally it. And until I saw this trailer, I forgot Zoe Saldana's character's name, Neytiri. Like gone. Nobody forgot Princess Leia's name. You know what I mean? Nobody forgot Spock's name.
And Prosper.
Vicky Vale. I'm just picking random characters from like the 80s and 90s. You know what I mean?
Played by Kim Basinger.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you. Basinger. I don't know.
Eminem's mom from 8 Mile.
And on the PGA tour. Or no, on the Mac Golf tour. Never mind. Side note, my dad thought that movie was hilarious. But so I'm not sure that being critical of this is going to be easy unless the movie bombs. But I think even if it's a bomb of a movie, like a flop financially, no, I take that back. I said that backwards. I think that even if we don't like this, it's still going to make its money because I think it does have a built-in hidden audience of people just want to show up for the spectacle, like Andre said. And Andre just said, Quaritch is the most quotable. He's the most interesting character. Definitely, 100%, because he's the most distinct character from all the other mains. Exactly. The human prick is always the best villain in a world of alien others. Like it behooves him to be the most interesting.
He has to be quotable.
Right. He has to be. And I still can't quote him. I know he's a badass and he followed them outside without the gas mask and took several shots at their ornithocopter that they totally didn't steal from Dune, but that's neither here nor there. Wait, they didn't steal that from Dune. Avengers stole what's the Avengers? The Quinjet? There's like the Quinjet.
The Quinjet.
Yeah, Avengers stole that from Avatar. That's right. And the Avatar things are they have the little wing things, but they do have rotors. So it's not the complete same as an ornithocopter from Dune. Yeah, the Pape's right. No momentum, not part of the zeitgeist. That's exactly right. I think the movie will come. It'll make its $2 billion. People will sleep on it after that for like 5 more years. And then I think this dude said he has one more in him. Like, is this a quadrilogy? I think there's a part 4 that's planned for this. I think.
How many times you keep coming after them and they beat you with bows and arrows?
I don't get. Well, do they have machine guns and LMGs? No, we saw that, and they're probably going to commandeer a couple of the Matrix, and they're going to commandeer the Matrix mechs. And that's what I mean. It's straight out of the video game. Like I don't even. I have the video game on the box. I just don't. I played it for like an hour. I don't remember what it's called.
Never played it.
you didn't miss. Like I said, it's Assassin's Creed, but with Avatar. But I don't know that it's going to have any kind of long-lasting appeal. But let's look at some other stuff from Comic-Con, right? Rapid fire, kind of. So that Peter Dinklage-led vehicle that everybody's been waiting on for 1,000 years, the Toxic Avenger reboot.
Yeah,
they got shelved because they couldn't find distribution for it in like 2021. Like that's a thing. Like somebody, I guess, found distribution for it. Breaking news from the Oracle, who says that Avatars 4 and 5 are supposed to be a thing. Thank you. I knew there was at least one more. Did you really need another Toxic Avenger movie in your lifetime? Was that a thing you go to sleep, you pray to God for every day before you go to bed, and ask him for a Dinklage-led Toxic Avenger?
I don't think I ever watched the original Toxic Avenger movie, the one from the 80s with the guy with the eye that's down here holding his flag.
For sure. Holding the mop. That's some good shit. Andre says, if Cameron made the main group of characters more distinct from each other, it could be a top-tier franchise. Exactly. It would behoove them to have a movie that has a different Na'vi from each tribe. That way they can bounce political and cultural differences off of each other. Somebody wants to ally with the humans, somebody doesn't. Somebody's accepting of the human youngs, the other ones aren't. I don't know.
But you're
someone's
right. More technically advanced. One abides by tradition and culture.
Exactly. Andre is 100% correct on that. That could be a make or break kind of focal point for just differentiating those characters and making them stand out.
I mean, Dr. Seuss did it best with the Sneeds. You have the stars on ours and the ones that don't have stars.
Right. So we're aware of how to make that kind of story work for like 100 years now. Dinklage as the Toxic Avenger. I don't like the guy following his Snow White and the Seven Dwarves production interruption nonsense where they had people cast to play those roles, and he got all butthurt about negative stereotypes and casting little people as dwarves. I'm like, well, no one's cast you to fight John Cena in anything. So I mean, maybe you ought to just go with it.
Who's the short comedian? Was it Brad Williams? Brad something?
I don't know.
He's a midget comedian, and he says he hates the guy. He's like, he wants to be the only one that sits.
Yeah, he pulled the ladder up behind him, all 2 steps of it. Come on, those 2 steps. But that's my point, man. It's like this dude played a part that wasn't written for a little person in Game of Thrones, made it his, profited from it, did well. The character, Tyrion's an iconic character. Mm-hmm. He absolutely crafted into something worldwide, world-renowned. And now somehow he thinks that other roles that could be elevated by those kind of people of stature.
Yeah.
Stature.
Or lack of stature.
I'm not here to judge your height, and some folks are different heights. That is what it is. But it seems like a dick move. Because then, of course, those 7 actors, because we all know there's just billions of parts within arm's reach for those kind of folks going around. And this dude, because they want to avoid even more social media scrutiny over there at Disney, unload 7 folks, small folks, draw in a bunch of CGI nightmare fuel. And here we are. Actually, I skipped a step. They brought in the 7 very diverse other characters who weren't dwarves at all. And all look like, San Francisco, crackheads.
Yeah.
And they did.
They probably stole the wardrobe from some San Francisco inns. So
I believe it. That movie bombed. And I'm great. I'll never be as grateful for a movie bombing as that. I'm happy. She's in music theater now doing a production of Evita. And she had to leave halfway through, and her understudy got a 5-minute standing ovation when she came out. All true. Grok verified. That's definitely a thing. Dude, I love it. I really think how most of the time we complain about Hollywood and bad people failing upward. I think the jig is up for this chick. I think she's so radioactively toxic. In the public forum, I think she might be toast for a hot minute. She can be on a redemption tour in a few years. Like, that's fine. I don't begrudge anybody a path back. She said stupid shit. She didn't shoot a kid. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta let people have a way back.
Yeah, she didn't Kevin Spacey people.
This is what I'm saying. That's what I mean. You gotta be okay with that.
Allegedly.
But yes, allegedly. Yeah. Let's get Wonder Wolf legal team. We'll call Kingsley any minute. So I'm good with not seeing Peter Dinklage be the Toxic Avenger. Here's the next one. Marvel brought nothing to Hall H, and that's because they had their own mini announcement thing that they did along the I think they attached stuff to, did they do stuff with D25 or whatever?
Well, D24 is like NetSuite or the week after. So,
all
like
right. So maybe that's
because the last D24 was the Japan. Now they have the American one coming up.
Okay. So maybe that's why they didn't really have any major announcements there. Like I would have thought something for Wonder Man might have been a thing at this con. Something for Vision Quest, which was recently finished, might be a thing at the con. But I checked a bunch of articles and there wasn't a whole lot
the
there.
trailer for Brand New Day.
So Spider-Man, didn't see that, but that should be something that they're sitting on. I would imagine that would be, they could at least throw out like the teaserist of title card reveal or something, because that's not due out until next December, if I'm correct. I believe
it's before
26, 27. Oh, all right.
It turns out before Doomsday.
Oh, Spider-Man usually comes. Is Spider-Man a Christmas movie or is that a May movie?
I think it's a March movie.
Oh,
I think it's scheduled for March, and then May will be Doomsday, and then next May will be Secret War.
All right. But yeah, then we should probably start hearing some rumblings about that, because that's an easy billion for them to hang their hat on. Like we talked about the other day when we talk about profitability in these movies and how they're on a downward. It's an easy downward trend minus a couple of spikes, and Spider-Man's one of them. You know, whether or not you might have liked that particular franchise of films. Pape says they would have held court at Comic-Con with the new spot. Dude, 100%. I mean, if you wanted the captive audience, this was it. Because here's the rest of the list real quick, right? You got Peacemaker season 2 trailers that everybody can see online already. I don't think anybody really cares about that.
Twisted Metal 2 trailer.
Twisted Metal 2 has its audience because I guess I watched most of season 1 and just kind of forgot. Wasn't bad, wasn't great, but it was Anthony Mackie being a better character than Captain Falcon. I'll give him that. Gen V season 2 crossover with the boys. Don't care. Watched a minute worth of review of those
Percy
shows.
Jackson the Olympian season 2.
I did catch a note of that, but it wasn't a trailer. I don't think. I think it was just like the
trailer's been
card
out.
and a mention. Oh, we missed the trailer for season 2.
We haven't missed it, Bob. We were planning that. We were planning that trailer show that we were going to do all the trailers for the rest of the year that we're excited about. So I was saving it for that.
All right, we might have to bang that out shortly then. What else do I have here? And just a couple of things out of comics and on the animated side. The other Avatar has a new limited miniseries coming out called Seven Havens. The folks are in Avatar and Legend of Korra. There's a new animated thing for them. There's Aztec Batman Clash of Empires. And I'm like, I don't know. I've read about that. I'm not really in on that. Any announced sequel for Heroes Never Die?
No, there's no announced sequence for Heroes Never Die. We did have something in production, but due to the war of Russia versus Ukraine, it was not culturally appropriate to make that movie anymore. So we are moving in a new direction.
Ouch. I'd have probably made it anyway, but that's just me. Aztec Batman, where Cortez or whoever are conquistador colonizers are all the bad guys, and Batman's an Aztec guy that doesn't acknowledge any of the human sacrifice or slavery or anything, and then they kill all the white people. And then also out of comics, like on the page, Ultimate Spider-Man ends at number 24, which is disappointing. I like that run. I have been reading and following that one. It's been a good run.
The most unlikely announcement from Comic-Con, this is what I'm calling my most unlikely one. Spinal Tap 2 is coming out.
Stop it. I didn't see that.
Mockumentary about a fake band gets a sequel. Spinal Tap, The End Continues, got a rocking trailer.
Yeah. That is going to be a King Z solo review, I assure you. Because I will not
turn it up to 11. I mean, just because they can't hear.
Right.
You know, the lead singer of The Who, he's hard of hearing now, so they were considering changing their name to The What.
To The What? Yeah, gotcha. Then my dad first told me that joke in '87. Nicely done. It's good to bring it out of the mothballs every now and again. Yeah. Everybody loves the classics. I would have definitely gone with that. You mentioned the Percy Jackson. I also saw there's a Five Nights at Freddy's 2 trailer for those of you that might be looking into some horror light for your kids. I saw the first one, Solo Winterwolf Pup, when that came out a year ago. This one looks like it's a bit meaner, a little bit more harsh, so it might not be as appropriate for 8, 9, 10 as the first one might have been, depending on your sensitivities to what you let your kids watch. But we'll keep you posted on that. That has a December 2025 release, so we'll take a peek. King Z's favorite.
Over on Amazon, they had an announcement of the 4th season of the Legends of Vox Machina, which takes place of the Critical Role Season 1 role-playing game. It's based off of that campaign, and that's the announcement of the Mighty Nine show, which is based off their 2nd campaign.
Good things popping off over there in Amazon. Also popping off on Amazon, was it a Wolfenstein series I saw got greenlit? Did you see anything on that? That might not have been a Comic-Con. I think I heard that elsewhere. Yeah, they've greenlit that to go along with some of their other edgier programming like Fallout. And I'm like, okay, take a crack at it. Like after Fallout, I'm like, all right, you guys can take some shots at stuff. You're not going to get everything right. Rings of Power is still a thing, but we both enjoyed Fallout. Let's see what they do with other things like Warhammer. But if they want to take a poke at Wolfenstein, okay, there you go. You can do that. Your favorite show? They had a couple of they didn't have trailers, but I think they had concept art for Ahsoka season 2.
Was it pictures on set?
Okay. So we know that's coming sooner than later. Here's a wild one coming to comics: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Godzilla. Limited run.
They're cousins.
I guess very distant. I guess.
Yeah, they both sucked on the ooze, and now they're just different.
Maybe. We'll see. Maybe we get a kaiju-sized Ninja Turtle. Yeah. I could be all right with that.
You have Breaking Bad's Vince Gilliam's revealing Pluibus, a new show with Rita Seehorn.
Oh, dude, she was Kim Wexler on Better Call Saul. I remember this. This is actually a sci-fi bait kind of show, if I'm not mistaken. Written in the vein of X-Files, which he also co-created back in the day. I missed this. I'm down for that 100%. She is one of the best female characters written in the modern era of television, hands down, is Kim Wexler. So if Ray, I think she pronounces it Ray, R-E-H-E-A, I think is Ray. But anyway, she's a great actress. The character had all kinds of depth, all kinds of dimension, and went through a hell of an arc on that show. So if he's giving it back to like the X-Files roots, we're probably getting like Scully 2.0 kind of character, which is going to be awesome. I'm all about that.
We have the Walking Dead spinoff, Daryl Dixon, season 3.
Daryl. I haven't watched minute 1 of that show in ages. I forgot about Dead City. I forgot about The Ones Who Survive. I don't know how many times Rick and Michonne have been back and aren't back. They just found their way into that Dead by Daylight game. You can play them as survivors now, which is wild. Can I get a Shane pack, though? I'd really rather play Shane. That's just me, though. Or one-legged Herschel. I could play one-legged Herschel. That'd be all right. But Pape was mentioning pre-show female Jem'Hadar from Star Trek. And that's because Star Trek's long awaited by absolutely nobody, Starfleet Academy thing. And they had a trailer. And the trailer was about as awful. I don't know if you saw it. Was about as awful as you suspect it might be. These idiots that write modern Star Trek honestly think, dude, I kid you not, that like the top 100th of 1% of like academic and scholastic achievers in like the year 3350 would talk like idiot Zoomers present day. It astonishes me the lack of vision. It astonishes me that they can't see any world that isn't ours in their fiction. That if you were the top of your class of 10,000 applicants, how you think, speak, portray yourself, and act on the job is different than like what the bell curve of society, or worse, like the left side of the bell curve, how they behave. That's this trailer in a nutshell. There's singing, there's dancing, there's we'll face it together. We can overcome any chance. Like, dude, I heard one idiot pitch this as it's going to be like Hogwarts, but with Starfleet. And I'm like, nobody wants that. Nobody
I do
wants
know that Becky Lynch is in this series, which we just saw her and Happy Gilmore.
That's too bad, but I get it. She's trying to move past the wrestling thing, so she's going to take any acting job that comes up. That's fine. Like, I don't knock anybody for taking a job. I mean, you might paint a bullet on your bullseye on your back like the Snape guy did. That's on you. I wouldn't have let my agent talk me into that. I'd be like, I don't know. I got roles in other places. Do I really have to do this? Do I really have to set this internet culture on fire? The power of many cadets. Let me tell you about the power of many cadets if you hadn't seen the trailer, either you guys and everybody watching. There's a cast photo. They're all in uniform. It's a cast graphic, so they all have the uniform on. there's like 17 figures standing in front of the title that's on like a screen behind them that says Starfleet Academy. Out of 17 characters, 13 of them are identifiably female. 13 out of 17. So again, we cite demographics. Who is it that you think shows up to watch Star Trek, even present day? It's still skewed one way over the other. It just is. But nope, let's forget about the core group that got you here. Let's go ahead and try to court the modern audience that doesn't exist. That's okay. And then they'll cry when it bombs and doesn't get picked up for season 2. I highly recommend you go watch the trailer. It is kind of funny and embarrassing.
Also announced for all you...
the female Jem'Hadar thing. I just wanted to get your take on. I want to get your take on that. On if you have anything at all to say about female Jem'Hadar from DS9 being in Starfleet Academy. Any thoughts? Do you remember your Jem'Hadar physiology?
No, actually, I don't.
The Jem'Hadar were foot soldiers for the Dominion. They were like gray-looking dudes that kind of look a little Klingon-y with the protrusions out of their head and whatnot. They're genetically cultivated in test tubes and incubation chambers. Life does not find a way. They're all male. They don't have reproductive systems. There's no way to mate with one. So even if you were like a human or a compatible biological female, you can't have half a Jem'Hadar offspring even. They're all dudes. So I think the idiots on this show, right? Thank you, Pape. There are no female Jem'Hadar because there can't be. It's not like the Mocklins on the Orville where like every now and again one of the male couples pops an egg that happens to incubate to female. These are test tube babies created to be soldiers. They incubate to full maturity in like a week. You know what I mean? Like they're born to be soldiers in less than a week. There are no girls. It's stupid. Once again, Kurtzman Trek exposes themselves as having no idea like what they're sitting on writing wise. So it's laughable. And if you get a picture of the female Jem'Hadar, it's very clear that they're aiming to higher diversity checkboxes even for the role, because even if you slap gray face paint on somebody, you can still tell basically what ethnicity they are. It's not hard. Here we are. Female Jem'Hadar. The show is going to fucking bomb. And I'm here for all of it when it happens. It's going to be awesome. Anyways, what else came out of Comic-Con that was super exciting?
I wouldn't say it's super exciting for everybody, but for all those favorite people who love those the romantics through time in the Outlander series, the 8th and final season has been announced that will show up on Showtime.
I'm sure there's a good core group of fans of it. It's not really our circle of folks that are going to jump into that, but I know women in particular like that book series. It's definitely female driven.
There's a prequel series coming out called Outlander Blood of My Blood.
Okay. Interesting. Again, it has its readers. The book series is very profitable, very, very well known, very best New York Times bestsellery kind of thing. You walk into Barnes and Nobles, it's right there in front when there's a new one out. It's undeniable. It's just not for me. Pape, I believe that is Stars.
It is Stars. I'm sorry, I misspoke. I did say Showtime. It is Stars.
I think it was Stars.
Which is like Showtime Light.
But speaking of Stars, and I didn't see this at Comic-Con, but now that we're talking about shows in general. So I remember like 5 years ago, I had started seeing ads on Facebook or like posts on Facebook for another Spartacus show, House of Asher. And apparently it's finally done. Like it's a thing because there was just people covering a trailer that they put out. I don't watch the trailer, but I don't watch enough people covering the trailer to know that, good God, this is what happens when you write a show in 2018, shoot it in like 2019, and then don't release it until 2025 because it already looks dated. Like the lead female character on this press tour is talking about, and I think people will be excited to see a strong female character. Like, dude, those words are as radioactive as Zegler herself. It can't say that on a press tour. It doesn't matter if you don't even mean it. It doesn't matter if the character doesn't come across that way in the show. Your show is now toast because your lead female said that to like Variety on in a live interview. And the star of the show, you remember the guy that played Asher? He was the one that had the leg brace. If you've watched Spartacus, so the show is based on what would have happened, alternate timeline, had he not died on Vesuvius. So it kind of like it's a timeline fork. It's not. They said they could everything that happened leading into that battle would be the same, but it's going to be like what would happen if he wasn't there or if he had not been beheaded. So it's all after that kind of stuff, right? And even this dude up in the interview was talking about what was the best thing about coming back to the show. the money. Dead serious. He's like, oh, the money's great. I can't lie, but also, it's also fun to get back, but also really the money. He said it twice. And then he's also like, I think you're also going to get to see a different side of Asher in this one, a softer side. I'm like, nobody wants to see a fucking softer side of a gladiator. It's stupid. Just stop. Like, full fucking stop. The first Spartacus show was great. It had action, it had nudity, it had sex situations for folks that wanted it. It had lesbians, it had gay dudes, it had political intrigue. It was like Game of Thrones in Rome before Rome was a show on whatever HBO came out. You know what I mean? Everybody that watched that show liked that show. Why are you undermining it with this stupid shit you're saying in an interview? You're automatically getting less viewers now. They can't get out of their own way. Morons.
No, they can't.
Morons, dude. Anywho, what else we got? Anything else?
There is one that did excite me, but I saw the trailer before Comic-Con, and it was one of the ones I sent you because I said we should start trying to do these type of shorts.
Oh, yes.
And it's the Stephen King, The Long Walk. That looks good,
dude. That looks wild. The more I read about that, and I'm like, because I got to talking to my stepdaughter about it. We were coming back from like a cheer practice or something, and she's into horror. She came with me to see the I Know What You Did Last Summer remake. We've seen Smile. We've seen a couple of other horror flicks, as she's gotten older to see these kind of things. And I'm explaining to her the plot, and she goes, "Isn't that going to be really boring just watching people walk for like 2 hours?" Because the way I explained it was, I said it looks like it's kind of like a Squid Game situation where people sign up for a contest to see if they win and they get the big prize or whatever. And I'm like, but it's only one game. So it'd be like if Squid Game stopped at like not freeze time, whatever it's called, like the red light, green light. Like if that was the whole Squid Game, it probably wouldn't have been as popular as it was. And that's what Long Walk sounds like. But there's more to the game, right? And there's more to the prize, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what the prize is, but it looks like these are people who are down and out, really have nothing left in life.
Squid Game. That's exactly Squid Game.
It looks like that it's kind of a post-apocalyptic world where everyone's addicted to entertainment, where Squid Game is watched by the elite. I think this is like a public broadcast, like Running Man. The original was. I think it's
which
more
was written
like
by who now?
That was also Stephen King.
Yeah, damn right. So yes, good connection there. Nicely done. Nicely done. Now, I had heard a little bit about what the prize is if you had missed this. I caught this in one line in like one article. It's the winner, the sole winner, because there is no second, third, fourth, one winner. Like it's like Highlander. The winner gets one wish, no questions asked. Now, whether or not there are supernatural aspects to that, I don't know. It's King. Who the hell knows? There could be some ironic monkey paw shit going on.
It might be tied.
I don't know.
It might be tied to flag.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, that stuff is there. It doesn't just have to mean I want like a full life pardon for my dad who's in one of our post-apocalyptic prisons, or I want $2 billion. Like, it doesn't have to be something mundane. It could be something completely effed. You know what I mean? I want the world to end. I'm sick of this bullshit, everybody. Like Cabin in the Woods style. Like they could throw some shit at
I want to be off of this world and into another timeline.
Right. It did exactly. And then like literally that's the end of the movie. Through the portal, wakes up from the dream, boom, he's present day, but it's
and then he's in dystopia. Then it's the beginning of Dark Tower.
Or then it's the end of the mist. Like sucker. But dude, it looks wild because they have the whole game set up where it's like it's a not forced march, but if like your speed slows less than 3 miles an hour or whatever, you get like 3 warnings and then they just shoot you. Yeah. And that's it. So like you're literally just walking until everybody's dead. So it seems simple.
Reminds me of that old game where people had to keep their hand on a car and the last person there gets the car.
But if you take your hand off the car in that episode of that 70s show, like when Kelso tricked the other guy to taking his hand off, nobody shot him.
You die. Yeah, you'd be shot in this game.
Like that's the thing. It's like, yeah, if you fail, you die. So I mean, that could be a banger. But I mean, I wonder if this, because we did a whole big thing on Stephen King adaptations, right? Is this one of those stories that doesn't have enough wow, I can't say the word, enough depth to carry an entire feature-length film?
See, I found one that beats that record, and it was based off of a short story, and that is Stand By Me.
True. But I mean, there's a lot of character dynamics that you can build into Stand By Me. You got 4 boys plus the bully. So it's all their
The brother,
plus him, plus the brother, plus their home lives. So there's a lot of character work you can dump in there. But if you think about like a short story like 1408 with John Cusack, you got that he's a failing writer, he's divorced, he lost his daughter. Then you got the haunted hotel. So there is feature length stuff you can cook into that. But some of these other ones that go out, like when he's completely coked out of his tree, like something like Maximum Overdrive, for as much as that's a cult favorite of mine, like that shouldn't have been a movie,
And that was based off of a short story as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Short stories actually have more blockbuster success than his actual novels do.
You think so? We'd have to probably sit down and crank that out. Yeah, Kid, you're right. Because Sleepwalkers was a short. That was terrible though. Dreamcatcher was the one I was thinking of. That was a novel, mid-movie though, not that great.
Landeliers was a part of a novel.
Yeah, dude, it was bad. Carrie, that made for a good book and a good movie though. That was a short story. I have to go back and look at the shorts.
What was the name of the car that was alive? Christine.
Yeah, that was a novel. Yeah, we really have to do some research into that to sort out how it hits. I think they're exactly right. The novels they do wander. Like, dude, think of something like It. Like, how many pages is in It? I think it's like 1,150 pages. Like, that's what for one book. We're not talking about like we put 4 things together from like The Stand or whatever, the Dark Tower trilogy into like one book you can buy. Like, nah, dog. Like that book, that single manuscript is over 1,100 pages.
Well, The Stand is even longer than It.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, but The Stand is part of a larger world of stuff, a big epic Lord of the Rings thing he's trying to tell. It is literally one story. It mentions Gary. It mentions a couple of this and that and the other thing. But like, dog, that book should not have been 1,200 pages. We talked about that when we saw the trailer page. We're down for that. And that's a couple months out. That's October of this year, I think.
It was September of October. Yeah.
It's coming up.
Welcome to Derry.
Welcome to Derry. Yeah. We're looking forward to that. Well, that'll probably be our show coverage that month.
I think one reason why his novels sprawl so much is because he doesn't know how to end a book.
Oh, dude, that's a gag that I think it's parodied in a couple of different of his movies and things. I'm trying to remember. I was watching the Dead Meat podcast the other day, and they had written that joke into something that he did one of his cameos in. It was a recent thing he had done. It wasn't like one of his older ones when he would have been more sensitive about that. Like as he's aged, politics aside, like his sense of humor apparently is a little bit more well-developed and he's not as sensitive about that. Oracle was saying back there in the private chat, people have said the Long Walk book was an experience in quotes and a nerve-wracking, even though it's short. So I'll take a look at that. Because if it's something like what's his name? McCormick, the Road. Who did the Road? Corman McCormick. I can't remember the author's name. It's like suitably bleak and post-apocalyptic dystopian. Viggo Mortensen did the movie. It was a movie adaptation of that. Keeping your son alive and doing terrible things to like basic survival along the way. McCarthy, thank you. Cormac, I was like McCormick, like it's fucking like we're over here baking chicken in the oven. Dude, get the Italian season, get the McCormicks.
Make sure you do a dry rub before you put it in there.
You gotta pat it down first, and then you apply the dry rub. You gotta smack it in there a little bit. There we go.
Yeah, slap the chicken. Yeah, slap the chicken.
Speaking of slap anything, you ever had Slap Yo Mama seasoning? That's some good shit. You guys got that down there? That's usually I had it flown up from down there, but now it's up here in supermarkets. Slap Yo Mama is the brand.
But I do have something that you might be interested in. I'm glad this is a good segue into it.
Shoot.
Do you guys have Krispy Kreme donuts up there?
Oh, yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Of course we do.
Well, Krispy Kreme is going Italian. And as soon as it pops up here, we're going to show you the new donut line from Krispy Kreme.
I don't need a chicken parm flavored donut. I need that, though. Oh, wow.
Tiramisu, cannoli, and lemon delight.
Lemon delight. Sold.
Lemon.
Yeah, sold. Send me 3 of those. Send me all those. There's not as many up here. They're dotted around. They typically have space in like some of the casinos up here. That's usually where we see them. Supermarkets I haven't seen. Don't carry boxes of them like I know they do in Florida when I visit down there. Like that's
they
just like
have the boxes
brand,
here
like
as well.
Right.
But nothing's better than driving by a Krispy Kreme's and they have the hot and fresh sign lit.
Yeah.
I mean, they just got them out. They just glazed them. And now you can go and get one.
I believe Pape is a New Englander. He could corroborate that there's not as many, I don't think, freestanding sites around the larger New England area. But if they're breaking into dessert other dessert flavors instead of just glazed, I'm with it. Any of those 3 sound great.
I wouldn't
that
go
could
with the
be an experience.
tiramisu personally. The other two is probably where
I'm good.
would put my money.
I would rank that 3 out of those 3. There's like one in Rhode Island. That's what I mean. Like there's one up here, I think, in Saugus. I think. Cranston. Sounds an awful lot like Scranton, ironically.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that this week, but we chose not to. I know where that is, though. It's actually not too far from here. But yeah, I'll check out the Long Walk for sure. I think that's something I'll be into because there's a lot of horror movies out there they're
This is
screwing right
actually
by
going to
me.
be a pretty good horror season. I'm looking like the September, October timeframe, which goes into what we're planning to do. If you watched us last year, you know that we did a couple theme months. We had Fantasy Month. We had Military Appreciation Month.
Yep.
We did one other one. I can't remember what we did.
Those were the only 2 from last year.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure those are the only 2 from last year. And then the year before we did we do football? Because I remember watching Friday Night Lights. I remember rewatching Rudy. I remember rewatching.
Yeah.
I think it might have been like sports movies focused.
Yeah,
on
I think that
football.
was right around Super Bowl time.
Yeah, I think that was 24. Though. I don't think that was this year.
So to kick off horror season, the month of September will be zombie theme months, where we're going to be doing rewatches of zombie movies. We're going to be doing best of worst of zombie TV shows like Walking Dead or what's that other
Z-Nation.
one? World War Z Nation. That's it.
I know what you were talking about.
I worked with their DP.
Hopefully you gave him some tips. Hey, not my favorite show. But yeah, we're gonna do all kinds of cool stuff with zombies. We're gonna do some deep cuts of like terrible zombie movies. I'm looking forward to that because a good terrible zombie movie is a lot of fun. A lot.
And of course, we have to do Shaun of the Dead to cap it all off.
We might do it. We might have to open with Shaun of the Dead.
Open?
We might have to open with Shaun of the Dead. Yeah. Open with that, close with Dawn of the Dead remake. Hell yeah. That's programming.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Damn right that was. We'll cover that when we get later. But let's get through. I really want to get to this. Would be topic number 2. Now that once again we did 45 effing minutes on the first topic, and every week this dude's like, "Oh, we need about 4 topics to cover the hour." I'm like, lately we haven't. Shit, but okay.
We might have to add a second hour.
That's a lot of programming. So, and I don't even think we really need the article for this part of the really what I wanted to get your take on is it's more of a I've seen now box office analysis reviews. I feel like everybody does the money thing now. Like that's like its own thing about analyzing box office. And unless you're into money like that, it's a lot of variables to throw around. Like I understand profit, I understand revenue, I understand marketing expenses, but some people are throwing in, multipliers and context and inflation, things I can't do. I'm just not that guy, right? So I can't get into the weeds for the money like a channel like Valiant Renegade might be able to. Culture Casino, like those are 2 of the ones I follow when I need their breakdowns. But I understand on the surface level that Superman and Fantastic Four are under-earning what their respective companies wanted, which I think is wild because I've heard majority nothing but positive responses from everybody that's gone to see it, or from most people that have gone to see it. Even people like me that were mid on one, I came up pretty big on Fantastic Four, was kind of mid on Superman. You had them both at like an 8. You know what I mean? So I mean, the consensus on these movies is wildly positive for both.
Yeah,
but they're underperforming, right? That their own company's metrics are underperforming. And I don't think it's budget bloat. I think we're finally there, dude. I think we're in the middle. If we don't even say bad superhero movie fatigue anymore, I think it's superhero fatigue, and I think we're there, right? And
I think
I have a reason
discretionary income fatigue.
I'm glad you said that because I disagree. Because Minecraft hit a bill, Moana hit a bill, Lilo and Stitch hit a bill.
There's a
You've got
difference
kids, you're
between
still going to the
discretionary income, but it's kids. And a lot of these superhero movies, they're not trusting to take their kids to anymore.
True.
So, but
that's
also,
not discretionary. That's parenting discretionary. That's not a money decision.
But it also is, I know they're going to enjoy this movie, so I'm willing to spend the money for this.
Yep.
I'm not sure about this. I'm not willing to spend my money on this.
But that's what I mean.
It's more selective.
Yes. That's the point I'm trying to make, is that I think that the money is there for plenty of folks if they choose to use it. Like it's not a Great Depression of the 1930s situation where like literally people are in bread lines and no one's spending any money. Like if you've seen a professional baseball game lately, stands are full of people buying concessions. I mean, yes, groceries are expensive. The price is going down. Yes, gas is expensive. Prices are going down. Insurance rates are still kind of high on a lot of things. Mortgages still suck.
Interest rates are still high.
Interest rates are terrible. And actually, this dipshit decided not to cut the rate recently. But anyway, we're not a money channel. So what I'm saying is there's a strong segment of folks that have the money, but they're choosing very carefully, like you said. And I think there's a fatigue element that is in play there, where if you're a parent, maybe you took your kid to like a recent movie and maybe the kid was bored, or maybe you saw some teen adult leaning themology or language and you weren't down for it. Then maybe if you took your 9-year-old to the Thunderbolts, like how long is it before, like if your 9-year-old's any intelligent at all, starts asking about, Daddy, what's depression? What's suicide? Like those are questions I don't want to have with my 9-year-old, because they don't need that at 9. They really don't. They need to be supported and protected at 9. You know what I mean? But if you go to Lilo and Stitch, it's a safe bet.
Yep.
So I think people are not necessarily even. Yeah, go ahead.
The other counterpoint I would put to that, instead of fatigued, it's out on streaming like 6 weeks after it's released.
Yeah.
So I can sit at home, pay $9.99 for my subscription fee, make as much food as I want where I don't have to pay extra money. I can drink as much pop as I want where I don't have to pay extra money, and watch it on the TV, and then I can just walk 20 feet or 5 feet to my bed, or watch it in bed, and then just go to sleep afterwards.
I was doing
not have to drive. Yeah, not drive 20 minutes. You can pause it if you have to use the bathroom, instead of watching, hop on your app of pee time and see what time I can miss. In the
know about pee time. Nice. That's almost as good as the one I use for do I have to stay for after credits? I can't remember what the app or the site is I go to. But dude, I think you're 100% right, man. I think that there's so many reasons now to not go, that when you pile them together, like you can literally pick a flavor of reason that these movies aren't profitable, even despite them being good or not good, you know, because I think that unless something has ultimate brand recognition, and I guess Superman does, I knew Fantastic Four wasn't going to make $1 billion. It's Fantastic Four. In my opinion, it's the best version of this group we've ever seen in live action. Hands down.
Yes.
It is. It's even better than the Alba one. I love me some Jessica Alba. I do. The movie wasn't that good. It was exceptionally mid. It just is, you know? So this was it. But Superman, why is Superman not making $1 billion like almost every Batman movie in the modern era makes? Why? I think we're there.
Mixed reviews on it as well. Like channels like ours, they came in. Some people came on it very hard because they watched Superman get his butt kicked for the first half of the movie, where he's literally fighting Ultraman. Is the reason why he's getting. So he's fighting himself. So he's fighting another Kryptonian. So he's trying to get his butt kicked. I mean, another Kryptonian killed him. Heard of Doomsday, anybody?
Timing though, you know, I mean, maybe you have that 20 minutes in and not frame one. But again, I don't think that only works on folks that are chronically online, and that's not everybody. You know, so
it's even like channels people. It's the majority of the demographic they want to hit.
True. I mean, I guess that's fair. That's a damn fair take. I have to consider that. I mean, but how much damage does a bad review from a movie review channel you watch keep you from going? Or how many bad reviews do you need to see before it tilts the scale in your head? I could watch Nerdrotic tell me Superman was terrible. I'd probably still go.
A lot of it depends on my feelings of it, of watching the trailer. The trailer means a lot to me, because the trailer is everything you're supposed to love about the movie.
Fair.
No, you go to a fast food restaurant and you love the fries and you love the burger. You don't want the parsley. You don't want the salad. You want more fries and burgers. That's what the trailer is. The trailer is knocking off your salad, knocking off your quinoa, and giving you burgers and fries, burgers and fries, burgers and fries.
I like me some quinoa, but I'm never getting it at Wendy's. That's never happening. I don't care if they put it on the menu tomorrow.
So I'm just saying. So it depends on the trailer, and it also depends on if I have nothing else to do. Like if it's a mid movie, or I know it shouldn't be a mid, but I'm kind of interested in it and I have nothing else to do, I'll go hit it up. Especially mostly because I have unlimited at the theater. So why not?
But if I had a sweet club you bought into.
Yeah, if I have to pay out of my pocket, I'm going to be extremely selective, especially because I know I have Max at home. I know I have Netflix at home. I know I have Peacock at home. One of these big three are going to get one of these blockbusters.
Pape says, I saw Fantastic Four because you guys said it was good. I skipped Superman because, quite frankly, DC movies have been blah. And see, that kind of is goes back a little bit to my original point, where I think that I think it's largely too late for them to even course correct, because if we pull up Rotten Tomatoes right now, what do you think? Like at gunpoint, what do you think Rotten Tomatoes has Superman at right now? 88, 89. Dude, boom! Off the top of my head, 88. That means the global consensus of viewers enjoyed the movie to some degree. It means there's 65%, or for Rotten Tomatoes, it's 65% or better. So you either think it's slightly above mid or better to get that 88, right? So I would consider that a wild course correction compared to Dawn of Justice, which I think holds at 52, which means it couldn't even get, 65% of people to give it 2.5 stars.
The Martha meme saved that movie.
Oh, 100%. Martha meme put that movie back on the map, especially after they recut it a couple times, like they did for Justice League. But I think it's too late for them in a lot of ways. And I think the only thing they can do now is a massive scale back in cost of operations. They can't do $350 million movies anymore. They can't. It's unfeasible for all of the 75 reasons we just laid out, which the least of which isn't the stuff that I jump on, like The Message and The Modern Audience. Like, that stuff's old hat. Like, I think that stuff's obvious even to the normies now. And I think we can get a wildly congruent kick out of the whole Sydney Sweeney American Eagle jeans ad to see how that plays out. Companies are coming back around to knowing who they're supposed to be targeting their products to, and it's no longer the Tumblr crowd. It's just not. But if they still, but that doesn't mean that Tumblr is a thing. It is not defunct. It is still active. And it boasts something like 1 million unique users daily or some shit. I looked that up on with our assistant the other day. That was good for time, and they sold it. They need about Tree Fitty. That's all they need. They could call us any given minute, the three of us, put our heads together and give them a good story.
If they gave me 350 million, we can make a blockbuster easy.
100%. 100%. They absolutely need good writers. But you know what else they need to do is they need to do the gun thing. And that's the one thing that he told them right in that article, in that interview, was you need a script going in. And I think they'll be able to course correct for future films better than Marvel will, because they're more committed to having the singular vision from the one guy running the show. So he'll be able to say, this is the final script approval. We're only doing this. We're not reshooting fucking Act 2 start to finish. We're not doing that.
I think DC will pick up more steam as they announce their Batman, because there's another person in the running for Batman now.
Hopefully.
And they also, as the more movies come out, I think DC movies will pick up steam under the Gunn regime. I think Marvel, despite everything Kevin Feige said, and what
that's the first time you said his name right, by the way. Very nicely done. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you got it right.
And what we saw on Fantastic Four, I think that's going to be more of the exception than the norm, because they've already talked about that Doomsday does not have a complete script, and actors are hanging around not knowing if they're needed or not to finish
is what I'm talking about. Dude, it smells like Brave New World. And every single effing rumor that was spoken about Brave New World and them shooting scene ideas from like spiral bound notebooks and going through 5-6 writers or however many it was, and people saying, the only unsubstantiated rumor was that Anthony Mackie on set pissed that like we don't have a set like scenes that we're doing today because there is no script 45 days into shooting.
He has a right to be upset because you're wasting his time.
Yes, exactly. Dude, you know what he is? He's what Mahershala Ali would be on Blade if they actually made that dude go to a set to a shoot and not do anything. It actually just happened to Mackie.
This is the reason why a lot of the former cast of Marvel is signing with Warner Brothers right now.
Good. Good. They can reunite under James Gunn and do new stuff that has even if it's not good, it'll at least be a more focused effort. And I think that yields results, like you said. Like if Marvel can't convince me that an Avengers movie is worth my time, they can't convince me that Squirrel Girl is worth my time in Phase 7. But they might have been able to do that in Phase 3 under James Gunn. I wasn't going to go see Guardians of the Galaxy. Who the fuck wanted to see Guardians of the Galaxy? I had no idea.
He made that movie awesome.
Sold it 3 times. And also Endgame and Infinity War. You know what I mean? Like they were there for that stuff. So I want to see them get their shit together to get the money under control. Because if they don't, I mean, I think superhero movies, they're not, superhero movies are niche, like Westerns. They're not comedies. They're not dramas. They're not historical period pieces like Saving Private Ryan. Like there's probably a shelf life on these. I don't think these things keep happening in perpetuity until we're in our 70s. Like I think there comes a point where they just fade for a while and they become niche. And maybe you get a movie every now and again on streaming, or if we're back on cable or whatever's next, and somebody goes, oh yeah, here's a Spider-Man movie. Because I think sooner or later they'll just get that they've had their fill of these things, because they just, even if they're not terrible, tepid can only carry you so far, and financially tepid carries you nowhere when your shareholders aren't happy, where you're not getting private finance anymore, where studios' credit lines are being slashed and degraded by banks, and they can't get capital to make these things for $400 million. Like imagine if they told you next year there's a $400 million Marvel movie. What's that got to do? What's that got to hit to be profitable? $1.3 billion? How many movies have hit $1.3 billion ever? 5, 6? Your Marvel movie ain't going to be that. Not in 2026. No shot.
No, it's definitely not. And one of the things that they fail to do is they fail to make it a spectacle. They fail to make it an event to make people go to the theater to buy it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Because when they sell it to streaming, they get a set fee. They don't make money off of views.
Right. And if you're Marvel, you're paying yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
So I mean, Disney. The definition of a self-lifting ice cream cone.
Right. Money from right pocket up and over into the left pocket. It's exactly that. Yeah. And I think that's, like when Papers mentioned Fantastic Four and Superman, like I think that's why the ending of Superman left me using the whelmed, underwhelmed, and overwhelmed, very underwhelmed. Like the movie wrapped up just fine. Oh, Supergirl's here. She's cute. I liked her on House of the Dragon. Where's like the post scene that sets up like the next awesome big thing? Like where's the Green Lantern ring? Where's the Batcave? Just show me the shot. Show me the fucking quarter panel of the Batmobile in the dark. And I'll be like, fuck yeah, here it comes. Nope,
so the end scene of Superman with Supergirl sets up her movie because of what they are portraying her as in the movie, which is the one of tomorrow's storyline, where she is more of a drunk and a person who's out of
she's washed up
because she's supposed to be Kal-El's protector, but because she got hit by an asteroid and she's late off course, she gets there and Kal-El is already Superman. So
but see, this is what I'm saying, man. Like again, they tell me all the time they're going for the broadest possible audience, and comic fans. We're comic fans. We know that about Kara. We know that. Right? My dad has no idea. 2 of my brothers have no idea. Most of the people you work with probably don't know. But if they put the fucking Batmobile there, they know that. That's what I'm saying. Dude, I like the idea of the character, especially as Kingsley laid out the background that she has, because they're taking several of her origins and kind of mashing them into the alcoholic fuck up.
In the comic book, she's actually more powerful and faster than Superman.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Dude, and everybody that's read the book will know that. So when we get those videos and comments coming in a year, this fucking girl boss, because she's strong, like, dude, always been that way since like 1970.
Yeah, she is the only person to ever outrun the strongest plasma beam in the universe, and that's a eye shot from Darkseid. She's the only one who's ever outran it.
Those the Omega beams, Omega rays, something like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, we get that stuff as fans. We understand that. But I'm thinking gun. I'm gun in this situation. Right? I'm sitting back in my office. I'm looking out over the skyline. The fucking billions of dollars being pumped into my organization. I'm like, we should probably put Wonder Woman's tiara or some shit on a pedestal and just have a female hand reach in and grab it and come out. We really need to have some dude put on a fucking lantern ring. We need to see the Batmobile thing. Dude, pick one of your big, dude, Martian Manhunter even. Nope, that might be too obscure as much as I want to see that. The Flash, you know what I mean? Just have a red streak fucking sling by somewhere in Metropolis, even though he's from Flash's Central City. Right?
All you need is a Central City cop car.
It pans up Central City.
Crime Lab. It says Central City Crime Lab. Yep.
Dude, this is what I'm saying, man. That's the stuff that gets people hyped, because then some nerd in the theater goes to his buddy, dude, that's the Flash. There's gonna be the Flash next. And not, oh great, Supergirl's a dick. She called him a bitch and took her dog. Fucking great. Like it was a missed opportunity. It's cool to see Doom at the end of Fantastic Four. And you're right, we didn't actually talk about that. That was one of the things I went back, checked my notes. We didn't talk about that, but I said I wasn't going to tell you about it to not ruin it for you when we went. It was on the Fantastic Four rumor show like a month ago before it came out. So I had seen that. You did not see that. So that is a good setup to be like, oh shit. Like, is Doom on their ship coming in? Is it them? What's the deal?
Yeah, the ship that you see in Thunderbolts, is it really the Fantastic Four, or is it Doom with Franklin kidnapped? And that's why it's a celestial event in space.
Oh, dude, I love it. I love it. That's so much cooler than it just being the family. That is so much cooler.
The 616 universe doesn't have celestial beings, just like 818 didn't have Thanos.
Else.
Yeah, didn't have anyone else.
Have anybody. Right. True. Yes, I mean, all right. So having just said all that, if we stack those two endings next to each other, which one's the better ending to set up your next phase? Marvel in this case, hands down.
On both of theirs, on both the Thunderbolts and.
Oh, right. That's what I mean. They're at least, for as bad as phases 4 and 5 have been, they're
still good at tying stuff together.
Exactly, and the phase 4 endings largely pointless. 616 is the film verse.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the Marvel Comics universe. It's the movie verse. Their prime timeline in print has a different. It's not even. I don't even think it's one. Or
no,
one
no, it's not one. It's a number like that though.
Yeah, I think is there more than 3 digits to it? I think is there 5 digits?
There's always. I think there's all 3 digits.
There's always 3?
I think even like Earth 1 is 001. Oh,
okay. True. Yeah, some of those post-credit scenes. I mean, besides the giant thing poking out of the ocean at the end of the movie, wouldn't that have been a celestial being?
That would have been a celestial being. So maybe there's no Galactus.
I see. I mean, we got some of the sticking points wrong, but I see what you're saying. Is that in the Fantastic Four's universe, they're alone, and Galactus showed up and did their thing, but there are no Avengers there in the sixth. There's no early version of the Avengers. There's no superheroes. They weren't referenced anywhere in like the news coverage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can get behind that. But I remember some of those other endings for the like the Phase 4 ones where like they brought back a Captain Marvel in one of them, and so from some of the shows where it's Ms. Marvel trying to recruit Kate Bishop, and I'm like, nobody cares about any of this. You're showing us people. You're not building to the next MacGuffin. That's actually a good point. That's right. Nowhere was the head of a celestial being, and Star-Lord's dad was a celestial being. Was he a version of Ego?
Yeah, he was Ego. The living planet.
Living planet. That's right. So so there are celestial beings. Thank you for the correction, Pape. We appreciate that. But their tie-ins from those earlier phases are terrible, and I think that's something they really need to sort out if they want to drive movie traffic going forward while also delivering on the whole. You don't need to do 47 pieces of homework to go see the next thing. So both of these companies could have that going for them right now.
Easily.
If they get their budgets under control, that remains to be seen. So that's all that was the crux of that the superhero fatigue topic. I want to see where you came down on that.
And it is 616 is the primary Marvel Universe timeline of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Marvel Comics.
Oh, how could it be both?
It's the primary for the comics, but but they also have the spectacular world, like Spider-Man is the Amazing Spider-Man, different timeline than the Spectacular Spider-Man, different timeline than the Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Well, not
timeline,
but world, yeah.
Timelines confuse me. The further we get away from multiverses, the better. I'm over it.
Which is the end in the big reset after Secret War. Secret War ends the multiverse.
Now, do you want a gap personally after the end of Secret Wars? Do you need these guys to go on hiatus for like 3 years, 5 years to get a clean slate going? Or do you really just want them to keep going and churning out more?
I want them to go away from who they've covered. Let's just hit some X-Men heavy.
True.
I don't need to see Thor for a while. I don't need to see Captain America for a while. I don't need to see. Oh, I always want to see Spider-Man. So Spider-Man's cool. Yeah. You can just keep doing Spider-Mans. But I don't need this.
Dude, but we've done X-Men. How many X-Men movies are there? Like 7?
But they haven't done one in the MCU yet.
True, but I mean, you're still
going to be a
Wolverine,
complete
Cyclops, and Storm.
It's going to be a complete overhaul of cast, and what story are they going to tell? We always had my timeline, but I don't know if they're going to go with that timeline.
That's true. That's true. But I wonder if that's still too similar for some people, if they're still going to think it's the same thing with just new people. You know, there's a reason you can make a Batman movie every third year. You know, it's just a ubiquitous
I think they need to go
character.
with the Bishop timeline. If they're not going to follow the thing I came up with, which they're not. That just me just spitballing.
Nobody called us.
I think going with the Bishop timeline, starting from Days of Future Past, seeing the future and have him travel back to kill Gambit because he believes Gambit's the one who did it. I think that would be, stay away from the dark.
Please. You've had like 3 cracks at it. You haven't gotten it right yet. Please just leave Jean alone. Please just leave her alone.
And if we stay away from the Dark Phoenix, it opens the door to the major mutant meeting, which could bring back the Avengers and bring them all back. But you need the mutants to build it. True. And that is the Onslaught storyline.
You're a big fan of that line.
Would be amazing.
I got to pick that up.
Charles Xavier. Come on.
But see, that's why I wanted, then I hope the next 3 post-credit scenes that come out of these clowns, even if they're wrapping things up, they can wrap up every actor, every storyline except the one. They should just leave Franklin open as the Infinity Gauntlet thing that they're building to. Like, even if they're going to go X-Men and do X-Men versus Avengers and all this other crap after they get out of Secret Wars, the next 3 scenes should just hint at the big thing that's going to happen in 6 years. That was the magic of Endgame. People knowing once you saw the first stone, the Tesseract was a stone. Oh shit, it's Infinity Gauntlet time, bitches. It was on. It was on. And we were all strung along for it.
That if you do X-Men versus Avengers,
they're going to.
They're 100% going to. Which will be the Doomsday movie. In the comic book. Yep, it definitely will be. Because
I know when you give me that look, I know you know. Okay.
I'm about to drop some knowledge on you, bro.
Here we go.
So in the comic book of Avengers versus X-Men, they're going after Hope Summers, which is the daughter of Jean and Scott. Mm-hmm. She absorbs the celestial power of the Phoenix. Oh. So the X-Men are trying to protect her because that's Scott's daughter. The Avengers see her as a threat, and they're trying to put her into that little pocket dimension Reed Richards built.
Okay.
So that was the whole fight over the 7 comic book spread that was Avengers versus X-Men. What we're going to get in this movie is that the MacGuffin's not Hope Summers. It is Franklin. Okay. And it's going to be one side fighting for Franklin while the other side, and they think that they're both trying to manipulate the power of Franklin for their own use when it's really Doom pulling the strings.
Which is classic Doom. Doom.
And see, I think they downplayed. I don't think they should announce who played Doom. I think they should have kept that a complete secret because that gives you more of the power of the mask. No, trying to guess who's behind it. Give them a little voice modulation.
Got you covered, homie. We could be here all day as you try to say that.
You can hide RDJ as it. Because I remember what he said a year ago. Different mask, same task.
Yeah. Damn it. Dude, different mask, same task could be making the Legion of Doom, though, or something wild. Yeah. Not the Legion of Doom. Not Legion of Doom. Who are all the bad guys in Marvel? Not like the Sinister Six. Who's the other? Not the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Like, who else would Doom put together? You know what I mean? Like the Avengers assembling under like Iron Man. Like if it's RDJ playing evil Tony Stark, making evil Avengers. Like, you know what I mean? They need a cool name. I'm sure they've done that in comics somewhere. I probably just can't recall the name. You know what I mean? Dude, I think that's all spot on analysis. Thank you for the breakdown. And it really just, it seems to corroborate my impulse for wanting them to have something to build to coherently. Phases 4 and 5 are exactly the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Nothing fits. Shit tried to correct other things in other places. Everybody went off on a tangent. Crap you did in your movie, looking at you fucking celestial thing in the Pacific Ocean, becoming a thing finally in Captain Falcon this year after having been in the ocean for like 4 other movies and 6 shows, and no one fucking mentioning that globally altering phenomenon. Stupid. You know what I mean? Shit needs to be focused and driving one through line towards an outcome that used to be the Infinity Gauntlet. It doesn't have to be a MacGuffin. MacGuffins are wildly just things that don't matter that people think they need to go get. This needs to be a target, an end zone, a goal. And it should be, if Franklin Reed is that guy, is that kid, is that baby, whatever, I'm down for that. But I need to see them pushing towards that, driving to the goal line with that story. Otherwise, it's just all smoke and mirrors thrown up in the air. Let's throw all this shit at the board and see what sticks. I don't need that.
And this is why the Onslaught story would be perfect for X-Men in phase 6 and 7, because the next series in the comic books, the logical moving point was Heroes Reborn, because all the heroes die in Onslaught. But it was Franklin who made a universe in the size of a football that saved all the heroes, and then he releases them back into the world.
That's a tough one to end a phase on, though. That'd be like ending the phase on Infinity War and not Endgame. You know, like with the heroes taking ass kicking. Like, do you remember walking out of Infinity War? Like it sucked. Like it hurt. It was not a good feeling, man.
To watch it, to see how sad it was.
Dude, it was no bueno. They're watching people get dusted and watching Cap and Iron Man just being like, the fuck did we do? And Thor especially, and it should aim for the head. Yeah, dude, that hurt. That was not a fun drive home for me. Dave says, good point. That's where Marvel's been feeling. There is no end game in phase. But dude, there hasn't been. Like the first movie of phase 4. It wasn't Black Widow. What was the first movie of phase 4? Was it Black Panther?
No, Black Widow was the first official movie of Black Widow. Yeah.
That's exactly case in point. My example is I'd never seen the movie, but I was already entrenched in YouTube culture and movie reviews and things like that. And nobody was already talking about what it set up coming next. You know, oh snap, such and such a thing just appeared in deep space. It's coming this way. What is this artifact we unearthed? What the Fantastic Four just came, like nothing interesting that they've done for
set up the beginning of the Thunderbolts.
Nobody cares. You know, nobody cares. Like didn't need any of that. And then each movie and show after that played like the worst kind of nickel and dime with anything interesting in bits and pieces to attach to nothing. So hopefully they course correct for that kind of thing. But I don't know, man. We've gone like 20 minutes over. I feel bad for keeping you guys up late. Oracle in the back running our fact checky and our dessert providing graphics, which is helpful. Because now I'm hungry and want to see if I can order any of those. I don't think I can. I don't think we have that capability around here. Might just have to go on a mission. Should we talk about real quick for anybody left over what the best of worst of is going forward? Because that's going to take a little while to produce, or even the next retro watch. Can we say today what that's going to be? That might be kind of fun. I don't know. It's up to you.
If anyone's watching, we are doing another retro watch and best of worst of coming out. We'll be filming probably on Friday of this week.
Friday or Saturday.
Get you out over the weekend, maybe early next week. But our best of worst of is a show I've never seen before. And that
I don't
Fringe.
Remember. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I remember watching Fringe when it came out, and it was good fun, but I wasn't watching TV regularly back then. But we picked a couple of good episodes to check out there. And maybe we just won't mention the retro watch just yet, because that'll take a little longer to produce. We're gonna do a little bit more edit work with that, I think, before we put that one out. So that won't be a quick turnaround.
So yeah, we're going to see a couple things change since we are growing. We're going to try to do, I have some ideas. Winter Wolf has some ideas, and we're going to start throwing these stuff out here and see what sticks and see what you guys like and stop doing what you guys don't like. So we'll be moving forward here quickly. So we're really excited about the future as we have hit the 500 threshold. So now we're trying to hit the 1,000 mark, the coveted 1,000.
Stay tuned to 2032 when we hit 1,000 subs.
Yep. Or go tell a friend, or 700.
Please. All right, or 700 friends. That'd be great. Thank you, Pate, very much. We appreciate that. Thank you for being around so much and being the most consistently participatory member of Winter Wolfstone. We appreciate you, dude. And with that, King Z, get us out of here, because now I'm hungry. Surprise, surprise.
All right. Hit my music.